Good morning, children. So today we are going to learn notice writing. So notice writing you would have already learned. So far what you've learned may not be the same what you are going to write in future. So it is the council prescribed formats of what we are going to learn in this class. So before we go into the topic, let us see what is a notice. So you would have written letters to others. A letter is actually sent to only one person, and a notice is actually can be put up on the notice board for a group of people in a school or a college or an institution. So if you see what a notice is, it is a formal means of communication. And if you see its purpose, to announce, display information to a specific group of people, and it should be pinned up on a specific display boards in schools or public places, or it can even be sent through newspapers or in an institution also. So children, a proper or a notable characteristics of a good notice are, if you see, it should be brief, clear, comprehensive, and authoritative. Let's see what's the meaning of a brief notice. It says that it should have minimum number of words and no introduction or repetition should be there. And it should be to the point. That is, the content of the notice should be to the point. So what do they mean by no introduction here is, we will never introduce ourselves. The person putting up the notice doesn't need to introduce her or him. So that means we will never begin, this is so and so, putting up the notice for so and so. It should be very clear and crisp. And the second characteristic of a notice is it should be clear. It should be clear. Unambiguous language must be used. That means only one point should be conveyed, and it should be straightforward is what we try to tell you. The third characteristic is it should be comprehensive. That means the information given through the notice should be complete and comprehensive, and it should be, people those who read should be able to understand it very easily. No misinformation or insufficient information should be given. So the fourth characteristic of a good notice is it should be authoritative. Authoritative here, it should be authentic, and we should mention the name and designation of the issuing authority. That is what it means. So let us see some of the types of notices that are quite common. So they are written to convey a message about a meeting, or lost and found goods, events. It may be about tours, camps, fair, or exhibition also. So on a meeting, when we write a notice on meeting, the target group should be mentioned, the name of the event, date, time, venue, the agenda or purpose should be mentioned, specific instructions, if there is any, should be given, the contact person and his address for the event should also be mentioned. So when we put up a notice on lost or found goods, we should mention the article that was lost or found by you, date, time, and place where you have lost it, the identification marks such as color, size, contents, or the material it is made up of should be mentioned, and what it contained, the content of it should be mentioned, And in case if you find something, whom to contact and when they should be contacted or where they should be contacted should be mentioned. And if it is found good or found thing of yours, you may promise a reward, such as, see, if in case if you find a purse, you may mention it's a leather purse, color red in color, and it has some kind of identification mark kind of hanging. And what does it contain? Whether it had any cards or anything should be mentioned, and whether it had money, all that may be mentioned. All right, children, if it is a notice on an event, like you have some program that's going to go on in your school, so you should write the name of the event, the objective or purpose or the occasion you should mention, date, of course you have to, time, duration should be mentioned. Along with that, we have to mention the place or the venue where it is going to take place, essential qualification, the eligibility or the conditions, on what condition a person can take part in the event also should be mentioned, and the contact instructions and specific instructions if there is any. And depending on the occasion, one can use suitable images, logos, or any graphic representing the event. If it is on tours, camps, fairs, or exhibitions, we have to mention the venue or place of visit, the objective, that is the information, appeal, awareness, invitation, and the fee, that is the expenses should be mentioned, the activities if there is going to be any, and specific instructions on do's and don'ts, things to be carried, and the visiting hours to be mentioned, and also the contact. A proper notice should have three main parts, that is the title, the event, body of the notice, and the authority. And when you see the title describes the main topic or issue, and it should be attractive and eye-catching and should convey the main content. The title, when you see, children, a suitable description, that should be an eye-catching caption. It should be very creative and exciting phrase and not a sentence, you should remember. And it should be preferably in block letters. The event, when you write, the name of the event must be mentioned, indicating the purpose for which it has been written. For example, you may write, if you are going to have an inter-school debate competition, if your school is going to host, you may write inter-school debate competition. And the body of the notice should be brief, clear, and a complete content should be there. Give a precise information such as what is going to happen, when it is going to happen, and where, and for whom is the notice, and the requirements, all that should be put up. So when you write the content of the notice, we should think of the W's. When it is going to take place, that is first when, at what time